Welcome back to the channel, gang.
If the streets that nigga, music again, I blame the streets. If Florida for that nigga, I blame the streets.
Now, that was Boosie way back when, 2 years ago, when Kodak Black had did a song with him. So make sure y'all stay to the very end so you can find out how to win this or this for free. One of the things you got to do is hit that like button, like right now. Anyways, so the beginning of this video, you heard Boosie reacting to Kodak because Kodak had did a song called Boom Sakalaka with 6ix9ine when he got out. 6ix9ine had those allegations. So if y'all don't understand why these next clips happened, it's because that. Let's get into them now. Kodak Black say, where the hell Boosie at? Film was just the spokesperson for this stuff. Now I ain't got nothing to say. These niggas bullshit. Then Boosie say this. Kodak, believe me, when it's time to speak on a situation, I'm gonna speak. But it's business. I get a bag to speak on these situations. And believe me, somebody coming with it, and you wrong. I shouldn't have energy at all for all this stuff with what I'm going through. And you must be still mad about my remarks about you. Let's that shit go and admit you regret it now, 100%. Your career been downhill ever since you effing over your legacy. You're going to be known as a drug addict before your talents. On top of that, you check PC, my nigga. Come on, man. You walked to the left when you got off the bus. The whole Fed system will tell you this. I don't want to go back and forth with you. Get off the drugs and go get you some help. You effing with the wrong one, nigga. You know, tone of us. I don't know. Oh, you're not one of us. I read that all type of wrong. You ain't like that. Boy, ain't no way I just read that wrong. Anyways. Now, what's overly interesting is Boosie wrote all that, and then Boosie decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make a video too. Roll it.
Hey, I've been getting my fans on my ass. Everybody in my DM talking about, niggas speak on the thugger shit. Man, check this out, bro. When it's time for me to speak on anything, I'm going to speak on. Whoever put me on their couch, bro, I'm going to open, bro. I'm going to speak on it, I'm going to tell how I feel, and I'm going to keep it real about the situation. That's Boosie, bro. Somebody got to put me on that couch, bro, to do that. But at the same time, I shouldn't even have no energy for this shit. Like, all this shit I'm going through right now, like, man, I shouldn't even have no energy for this shit, bro. Like, I'm going through real gangster shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I got a lot of shit going on. You know, I can't be going back and forth on no internet, bro. Like, especially with Yak. You know, I'm trying to get the same thing you got from the same people. And you know that, bro. Come on, what type of shit you in? But other than that, bro, like, yeah, when it's time to talk about any situation, you know how I'm coming. You know, I'm gonna tell the truth how I feel about any situation. And to all my fans, you know, if y'all my real fans, y'all gonna say, man, she ain't really got time for that shit. Like, I don't even want, like, my real fans who love me, like, we got real shit coming up, nigga. We friends right now, nigga.
So Boosie had dissed Kodak Black, and then Kodak Black had dissed him, right? And so it says, we're just gonna read this article. Boosie badass insists Kodak Black's career has gone downhill since 6ix9ine collab. Boosie is convinced Kodak Black's career has gone downhill since the South Florida rapper did a song with 6ix9ine last year. Boosie badass weighs in on this beef with Kodak Black. On Monday, March 25th, Vlad TV aired a new segment of their multi-part interview with Boosie. During the clip, Vlad asked Boosie to opine on Kodak dissing him on the song 11 a.m. last month in Malibu. What I said really affected him, Boosie says in the clip below about him dissing Kodak. In the exchange of insults, he not letting it go. What I said about 6ix9ine collab, it seemed like since then, he been downhill. I think he regret what he did with Tekashi. Yak faced backlash for collaborating with 6ix9ine. Kodak Black collaborated with 6ix9ine on the track Shaka Laka last summer on the heels of Tekashi being beaten up in a Florida gym. Damn, it's been that long. Crazy. Boosie called out Yak for the move, which led to both rappers trading shots on social media and on wax. I think they probably had it right there. I don't know. But anyways, see the video of Boosie. We ain't really doing all that crap. So, yeah. Kind of murky, right? Here's where it gets kind of murky, right? There are two things that are said, right? Two things. And I think the streets need to hear this more than ever. Interrogation tapes sometimes get paperwork, sometimes don't. But interrogation tapes get played in a courtroom. That's why when people say certain things about paperwork and all that crap, yeah, I hear you all. But we done seen too many courtroom appearances, too many things said to know that it ain't just about paperwork. If you have paperwork, great. If you have interrogation tape, great. Both will suffice. So that's where people kind of get on the fence about it. The simple thing is this. Did anybody go to jail about this, or was that interrogation tape ever brought up? As we've been saying before, and we said before, ain't none of us from Atlanta, but we know how they do it down there. They try to spin the police. Some spin and they win, some spin and they out. It just is what it is. Now, in the terms of your boy Young Thug, am I calling him a snitch? No, because then I had to call everybody else the same thing when I gave them the same grace because I learned how they do it. Now, in California, can't do that. I don't know how they get down in Louisiana and Florida and anything else and anything like that, bro. I don't know. I can't tell you about that, but different strokes, different folks. That's why everybody is kind of silent. Now, if the cats in Atlanta that finally decide to speak, if they say, man, we try to spin, sometimes you win, sometimes you out, then that's just what it is. But I find it interesting. Nobody in the industry is saying anything. You want to know why? Because they're waiting to see what Young Thug is going to do. If he puts out a hit, cool. If it seems like it's downhill, everybody's going to dogpile on him. Kick him while he's down, the proverbial sense, not actually doing it. So that's what you have. But I find this one peculiar because technically Kodak is right and technically Boosie is right. And I know what y'all gonna say. I know what y'all gonna think. Wait, Ceddy Nash. You saying Boosie is right? Kodak is right? How can that be? Because Kodak is right. He should say something. Boosie is right. He does get paid to say stuff. But I'm going to give the edge more to Kodak Black. Wait, what, Nash? Yeah, I'm going to give the edge more to Kodak Black. Why is that? Well, because if Boosie only talks when he's supposed to get paid, then how the hell did we get to the video that we had in the beginning? Exactly. That wasn't on no Vlad TV. That wasn't on no Art of Dialogue. That wasn't on nothing else. That was specifically him going live on Instagram and letting out his thoughts. So when we hear it and see it from that way, Boosie is wrong. But you know what Boosie said? When it came time for QCP, man, Vlad, you're going to make me lose all my friends. One thing about QCP, he said he's not a street dude. And even if y'all try to judge him on the street rules, once it came time for it, he bailed out, which means he was never a street dude. Sometimes you get smart, sometimes you don't. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, I'm playing. I ain't finna do all that. But I don't see it like the rest of the industry see it. Everybody picks and chooses. So it's one of those things where everybody came for Tekashi 6ix9ine. Tekashi 6ix9ine has to remember, hey, you sent people to prison. That's what you did. They're in prison because of you. You pointed out, you did all that. But at the same time, too, you should have never been in that position, ever. I do agree with that part, bro. Whoever was basically letting you do all of this crap and everything, bro, hell no. Y'all got to remember, Tekashi 6ix9ine once said, hey, bro, I got a 10-pack on that. Talking about what? Well, with Kuda B. Kuda B went and let his thing pop at freaking Chief Keef when he was in New York, I believe. So it's not just that, it's the fact that Tekashi put money in people's hands and was directing all type of violence and then told on everybody. So, bruh, you didn't have to do none of that crap. If you wanted to get vengeance on the people who was trying to do something to you and they was trying to hit your girl, All right, then you playing by a different set of rules. But for those individuals to go down basically off of what you said, it's not the same thing. I'm not jacking that, bro. I don't care how anybody try to spin it to win it and say all these certain things and all that and blah, blah, blah. Eventually, bro, what they say in court is you have the right to challenge the evidence against you. You have the right to challenge that. So if Thug did anything wrong, those statements would have came up in court, and then he would have had to sit on that and stand on that. You see what I'm saying? We've seen this happen countless times in court. So while people are making up rules, which they always will, everybody does. When since they're making up rules, that's just what it is. I'm going off of basically everything that is. Now, if you disagree, then you disagree. Don't expect me to argue it. Just expect me to read and go like, I get where you're coming from, but that's about it. But does the industry pick and choose? Hell yeah. But if Young Thug comes out and starts breaking, you're going to see a whole lot of people start to say,